Welcome everyone to Things Around 8. In this video we will talk about how the recent Chinese military exercise offers clear clues about how China intends to attack Taiwan, and how the island plans to defend itself against this attack. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news. Between May 24th and 25th, China carried out one of the largest military exercises in recent years around the island of Taiwan. According to the Chinese Ministry of Defense, dozens of ships and planes carried out various maneuvers over these 2 days. Exercises that, according to China, served as punishment for what it classified as Taiwan's separatist actions. All these maneuvers were launched just 3 days after the inauguration of the island's new president, Lai Ching-te, who in his inauguration speech asked China to stop threats and military pressure, saying that neither Taiwan nor China are subordinate to each other. The Chinese government called this speech shameful, accusing the newly elected president of being nothing more than a rebel leader from a separatist region. According to the island's Ministry of Defense, the Chinese launched nearly 24 vessels and around 30 aircraft that carried out maneuvers around the entire island for 2 days, mainly along the strait that separates Taiwan from mainland China. Maneuvers that gave a very clear idea of how the Chinese plan to invade and annex Taiwan. In August 2022, as punishment for the visit of important members of the United States government to Taiwan, China also launched strong military exercises that included an extra element: long-range rockets and missiles that were launched to the north, south and east of the island in pre-delimited sea areas. Those exercises, carried out just 6 months after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, made it very clear that China intends to do, in Taiwan, the same thing that Russia did in Ukraine in the first days of its invasion, when it launched a concentrated barrage of long-range missiles, targeting key command centers, military bases and missile launchers, and Ukrainian air defenses. That attack, which effectively opened the Russian invasion of Ukraine, profoundly affected Ukraine's ability to respond, and greatly limited its defense in the early days of the Russian attack, offering the Russians several tactical opportunities that were exploited in the first phase of the invasion, and which allowed rapid advance over wide areas. This entire Russian experience with missiles in Ukraine was, obviously, very well studied by China, with the August 2022 exercise serving precisely to simulate an attack against Taiwan in the same style. And in the exercise held in May, the Chinese also demonstrated another strategy that intends to apply a naval and air blockade of the entire island. In the event of war, the only way for Taiwan to receive military and humanitarian aid will be by air or sea. Therefore, the best way to prevent this is by positioning ships and planes to block the main naval and air routes that give access to the island, which was exactly what China did in the exercise in May this year, with ships maneuvering around the entire island in a pattern that demonstrated China's intention to prevent the entry and exit of vessels and planes from Taiwan's main ports and airports. The way Taiwan reacted to this exercise also showed how the island intends to defend itself. The first action taken by the island's defenses in the face of Chinese movements was to activate its air and naval defenses, with the government displaying images showing several launchers being positioned at strategic points on the coast, with some photos showing what many already suspected, that Taiwan's defenses are stored underground on the island. More than a third of the island of Taiwan is made up of large mountains, with the military installing its main weapons and ammunition depots inside these mountains. From what was possible to monitor movements on the island, Taiwan's plan consists of removing its defenses from the protection of the mountains only at the exact moment they are used, thus preventing them from being located by drone and satellite images in the initial missile attack. Chinese. Another central element of the island's defense strategy is missiles, with Taiwan operating a high number of anti-aircraft and anti-ship missile launchers. The objective of this is quite obvious: to prevent the Chinese from landing troops on the island. To reach Taiwan, the Chinese will have to cross more than 200 kilometers of sea and airspace, with the island's defenses trying at all costs to prevent this invasion force from landing. This is, in fact, Taiwan's only chance to defend itself, as they know that as soon as the first Chinese unit sets foot on the island, it will be very difficult to contain the flow of hundreds of thousands of invasion troops that will surely follow. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news.